Hey everyone, we are hours away from the Shadowverse Worlds Beyond official release. I'm super excited. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some budget deck lists for every class to give you guys a framework on how to build up the class and how to build up the deck if you want to try different decks, or if you're just going in and you're free to play and you're not going to have a total access to every card in the game. So yeah, I'm very excited. In this video, I'm going to talk about the deck list, and then I'm also going to give you guys 2 golds and 1 legendary to try to add to the deck if you can either pull it or you can craft it. And I'm also going to give you guys some sort of cards that are on the chopping block, or at least ones that you probably want to remove and upgrade as soon as possible, right? So let's get into it. I will have all of these deck lists in the description below, and also after this video I will be releasing another video where I go through fully built decks and talk about like where I think maybe like the meta is going to go, and talk about all of the really fully built out decks in my opinion, and what I'm going to try to build for day 1. So yeah, Forest, budget Forest. I think Forest is a really interesting class on release here. It has a lot of cool cards. It actually has a lot of good budget cards here too. We have May, Journey Elf. She is actually a basic card, so she's not even in the set. You're just going to have her. She's a 1-drop, 1/1. Combo 3, select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 3 damage. Combo 3 means you have to play 2 cards before her, because cards count towards, or the own card counts towards the combo. So if it says combo 3, you only need to play 2 cards. If it said like combo 6, you only need to play 5 cards before it. So stuff like that. Pretty good removal tool. Also a 1-drop, which is kind of rare in this game. So yeah, May's pretty good. I'm not going to go through every card, but we have a couple Fairy Generators, Good Fairy of the Pond, and Fairy Convocation. And the fairies are 1-drop, 1/1 rushes with the Pixie trait. And these are going to be sort of like some combo fodder. So you're going to be able to like play these down, get some combo, cards off, and then have a, kind of board. So really like that. And then we also have, this is a neutral card, a Ruby Greedy Cherub. Whenever you see this card, and I put the other card in some of these other lists, so we'll get to it when we do, but whenever you see this card in these budget lists, you can interchange these for the Bell Ringer Angel. I'm not sure which one is better for these budget decks. Ruby, of course, is a 2-drop 2/2, so fully statted. Bell Ringer is a 2-drop 0/2 with Ward and Last Word's draw card. Ruby, though, is going to put a card from your hand back into your deck, and then you're going to draw a card. So it doesn't actually plus you because you're giving up 2 cards for 1 draw, because you're playing this, and then you're also putting a card away and then drawing a card, right? But it is cycle, and it is just a vanilla card. It's just a 2-drop 2/2, which I really like, and I think it's pretty strong. But you guys can experiment. These are both bronze cards, so it's going to be easy to get. Actually, I think Bellringer is a basic card. So whenever you see this card in these lists, or the Bellringer, just interchange them. You can try it out. I think they serve very similar purposes. I'm leaning more towards Ruby in a lot of these lists, but yeah, so that's going to help you kind of draw into your good cards that you have in the deck. More Fairy Generators with the Fairy Tamer. Really interesting card here, Stray Beastman. Stray Beastman is a 2-drop 2/2, so fully statted 2-drop. That's going to increase your combo by 1. So if we saw the May, right? All you need to do now is play Stray Beastman and then the May, because then you're at combo 3. I really like these type of cards that are 1 card, basically like combo pieces. And I think it's going to help get you to some of these combo numbers that you need to be at. Next combo card, of course, is one of the stronger ones in this deck, the Fey Twinkletoes. 2-drop 2/1 combo 3, give all other allied followers +1/+1. So this is going to be your board buffer. It's also a 2-drop 2/1, which is pretty good stats. This is going to be a key piece in this budget Forest deck. And then you have a couple other cards. Let's we have the Elder Sage Brush. He's going to be another removal tool. He's a 4-drop 3/3. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy follower. But combo 3, you're going to be able to do 3 instances of that 3 damage to random enemy followers. So pretty good. He is kind of a late game combo because there's no real 0-drop cards in this deck, right? So it's going to be probably turn 6 where you could do double 1-drops and then Elder Sagebrush. But it's still just a pretty good thing to have. Selwyn is going to be sort of this control storm card where he's a 7-drop 4/6 with Storm, and then Super Evolve, select an enemy follower on the field and return it to hand. So he's gonna bounce one of your opponent's things. I think this is a pretty strong card, because we are playing like budget decks. We need as many cards that say Super Evolve as possible. Obviously, you can Super Evolve anything, but you definitely want cards that gain value from Super Evolving, and I think Selwyn's actually not that bad. And then we have probably the best card in the deck, Aaron, Crystallian Frost Ward. Fanfare, select a 7-drop 6/8, select an enemy follower on the field and destroy it, and then heal your leader by 2, and she's a ward. I think this card is very strong, and you're going to want to try to find it in every game that you see. But thankfully, it's a 7-drop, and we have some card draw, or at least some cycle in the Ruby Greedy Cherub. And yeah, so that's the budget forest list. That's going to be the sort of groundworks for forest. But I do want to show you guys 2 golds and 1 legendary that you might want to try to add. So the golds for forest are actually really strong. We have Lily, who is a removal card, basically, and she draws you a card. She's a 2-drop 1/3, combo 3. Select the enemy follower on the field and set its defense to 1. And then on evolve, you're going to draw a card and deal 1 damage to an enemy follower. So on an Evo turn, you can go double 1-drop or 2/1, and then, or even like the Stray Beastman, right? And then Lily, set something to 1 Evo, kill that thing and draw a card. Really like Lily. I think that's going to be number 1 for me in golds that you want to try to add to your deck. And then secondly, for golds you want to try to add to your deck for forest here is, or I should say prioritize, is Glade Fragrant Wood Ward. He's a 5-drop 3/3 on play, draw 2 cards. And then on evolve, he's going to deal X damage split between all enemy followers. X is the number of cards in your hand. So if you've been playing those fairy generators, you're going to have a very big hand. He's also going to increase your hand by a lot as well. And you're going to be able to Evo, clear the board a little bit, and get you to that late game that we were talking about with the Aaron and stuff to sort of stabilize. So yeah, pretty good. And then the legendary, I think I want you guys to add, if you can. The legendaries for forest are like, they are good, but they are not going to be as impactful as some of the other classes' legendaries. But you're definitely going to want to add, because it synergizes the best with these budget cards, you're definitely going to want to add the Amataz Origin Blader. 3-drop 2/2 ward. Give this follower +X+X. X is the amount, or the number of pixie followers in your hand. And then on evolve, he's going to deal 1 damage to random enemy followers based on the amount of pixie followers in your hand. So he's really going to synergize with a lot of these early game fairy generators like the May, the Fairy Tamer, the Fairy Convocation for you, and help you get to some pretty big numbers. So yeah, that is Forest. And yeah, I think this is one of the weaker budget decks. There's definitely going to be some very strong budget decks. The issue with this is it doesn't really have an end game outside of clearing stuff with Aaron and Selwyn being a big stormer. So you're really going to depend on the early game being able to get your Faye Twinkletoes to buff a pretty huge board. So yeah, so then let's talk about, hold on, let me get rid of this. Next, we'll talk about Sword here. So budget Sword. Sword has some okay silvers and bronzes. It has a lot better silvers than bronzes, I would say. That's, you can see the cost of the deck is a little bit higher. But budget Sword is definitely going to be more of a aggro-leaning board-based deck. I just realized the sun is, like, on me. I was like, what is that? So We have 2 1-drops, which is pretty good. The Quick Blader, which is a 1-drop 1/1 Storm. And then we also have the Luminous Commander. It's a 1-drop 1/1. Whenever an allied follower enters the field, give this follower +1 attack until the end of turn, and then on-evolve summon a knight. And officer followers are these tokens, these knights and these steel-clad knights, and some of these different types of tokens. This card is like pretty weak. Oh, I just realized on the forest deck. Let me quickly jump back to the forest deck. The cards you're going to want to take out from the forest deck is the Capricious Sprite. Because I did want to talk about which cards are like on the chopping block that you want to swap in these golds and legendaries for. Capricious Sprite is pretty weak here. The Wild Profusion is also a little weak, but it is some removal. And then I think the last card you're probably going to want to try to get out is everything else is like not that bad. Probably the Ruby Greedy Cherub, just because it's like once you add a higher concentration of good cards to your deck, you're not going to really need to filter as much. So yeah, that's what I would say. So Capricious Sprite, Wild Profusion, and Ruby Greedy Cherub are the ones I would take out to add those golds and legendaries, or golds and legendary that I talked about. So yeah, let's get back to Sword. Sorry about that. Sword, you have 2 1-drops. Luminous Commander is like kind of on the weak side. She's just a 1-drop 1/1, and she only gets value if you play more tokens. So yeah. Then we have some 2-drops here. Sword's 2-drops are pretty good. Definitely Ignominious Samurai is one of the better ones. He's a 2-drop 2/1 with Rush. And then if you've unlocked Super Evolution, he gains Bane. So this is going to be a 2-drop like removal card basically in the late game. And early game, he's just going to be sort of a 2-drop there. His 1 health is a little bad. I don't love that he has a 1 health. But yeah, he's still pretty good. And we also have the Luminous Lance Trooper. She's a 2-drop 1/2 that's going to summon a knight. And then whenever an officer follower enters the field, it gets Rush. So all of these tokens are going to get Rush. So pretty good 2-drop there. And then after that, we have a couple like just interesting cards. Ian, he's going to come down and buff one of your followers by +1/+1. I think this guy's like a little weak just because he's not giving you anything bonus, because 3-drop 3/3 is like a generic stat line. So he's just spreading out his normal stat line between 2 bodies, which I don't love. If he was a 2/3 or a 3/3 that did this effect, I think he'd be pretty good, but yeah. We have Lorala, Luminous Potion Right, 3-drop 1/2 on play, summon a Steel-clad Knight, and then whenever an allied follower enters the field, restore 1 defense to your leader. Like this a lot. This is kind of going wide a little bit, but it's a 3-drop that heals you a little bit. The really power card, there's a couple power cards here at the end, but the Iron Crown Majesty is a really strong silver for Sword. 3-drop, select a mode to activate, summon a Steel-clad Knight and a Knight, so that's a 2/2 and a 1/1. Or give all allied followers on the field +1/+1. So in the early game, you're going to be able to play this and build a board. And then in the mid to late game, if any of your board's stuck, you're going to be able to play this, buff your entire board, and push even more damage. I really, really like this card. I think this is a very good, powerhouse for budget Sword. Speaking of really good cards, Luminous Magus, 5-drop 1/3, Fanfare, summon 3 Steel-clad Knights. Those are the 2/2s. Whenever an allied officer follower enters the field, give it Ward. So this is going to be a 5-drop 1/3, summon 3 2/2 wards. Very powerful 5-drop. Really, really, really like this card. Yeah, this is just a really strong card. And if it sticks anytime you play another token, it's going to get Ward. So really good. And then that's pretty much it for like the really strong card. We have Ernesta. She's a 6-drop 4/6 that's going to buff your all of your allied followers by +1/+1. And then on evolve, she's going to do it again. And then we have the Centaur Centurion that you just kind of need to finish the game out. He's an 8-drop 7/5 with Storm. So yeah, so talking about cards you're going to want to add, let's look at the Sword golds and legendaries here. Sword has a pretty good amount of golds. A lot of them have some pretty good utility. Outside the Ravening Tentacles, that card is, like, really bad. But we have Val's, he's a removal. But and then we have Geno, who's also kind of this, like, interesting removal card. But he's not the one you want to go for. The two that you want to go for are definitely Zirconia. 4-drop, 4/4. On Evolve, summon 2 Knights, those are the 1/1s, and then give all other allied followers on the field +1/+1. Really strong card. In totality, she's going to be a 4-drop, 4/4. When you Evo, she's going to become a 6/6. And she's going to summon 2 2/2s, basically. And again, it's one of those things where if you had a board at all beforehand, that board's going to get buffed, and it's going to swing in for even more damage. Really strong card. And then Amalia is your late game, I wouldn't say finisher, but your late game high value card. 8-drop, 6/6, summon 4 Steelclad Knights, those are the 2/2s. Whenever an other allied follower enters the field, give it +1 attack, rush, and ward. So she's an 8-drop, 6/6 that comes down and summons 4 3/2s with ward. Really, and rush. Really, really strong. And then the legendary you're going to want to add is probably the Amelia. Amelia is really going to help the consistency of the deck. She's a 6-drop, 4/4. Draw 2 Swordcraft followers, recover 3 play points. So really, she's a 3-drop, 4/4, which is overstated. And then on Super Evolve, she's going to give all other allied followers, Swordcraft followers, Barrier. Barrier is, of course, the first time they take damage, they don't take damage. And then the shield goes away, the barrier goes away. Really strong card. Definitely what you want to try to go for if you can only pick, like, one legendary to go for Sword. And also, I think I would prioritize this a little bit over the 2 golds if you have a choice, but obviously, like, the math sometimes doesn't add up like that. So but yeah, so the cards you're gonna want to, sorry, that's Force. The cards you're probably gonna want to take out, Ernesta is, like, on the weaker side. I would swap that for either the Amalia or the Amelia when you get them. Ian is really weak. I would swap this out for the Zirconia when you get Zirconia. And then I would say Rusty's, like, pretty on the weak side too. But if you do remove the 2 3-drops, you're going to probably want to try to put another 3-drop in, or maybe fix some of the ratios, maybe add some more 2-drops and stuff. But yeah, those are the 3 cards I'd say are on the chopping block: Ernesta, Ian, and Rusty. So yeah, I think Sword is definitely on the higher, the upper half of budget classes, but I don't think it's, like, the best budget class. So let's get on to Rune. Rune is interesting. I decided to go with a spell boost variation of this budget list because I think it's going to be the easiest to upgrade as well. But if you have access to a good amount of golds, Earthright is going to be the way to go. But you do kind of need a large amount of the golds versus spell boost, where you can just kind of make do with these bronzes and silvers. So let's get into it. Spell Boost Rune is a deck where you want to play a bunch of spells to reduce the cost of some of your cards, like Blaze Destroyer. Blaze Destroyer is a 10-drop 8/6. Every time you play a spell, that's Spell Boost, reduce this cost of the card by 1. And then you have some cheap cards that spell boost other cards, like Miranda. She's a 2-drop 2/2. On play, spell boost your hand, and then on evolve, she's going to deal 3 damage to an opponent follower, and she's going to spell boost your hand again. And then we have some other cards that benefit from spell boost, like the Runeblade Conductor. 5-drop 1/1 on spell boost, give this follower +1/+1, and then when you play her, she's going to come down and do damage equal to this follower's attack. So this can get really big. And then the really strong card, one of the strongest silvers in the game right now, I would say, is William, Mysterian Student. He's a 6-drop 5/5. X starts at 0. On spell boost, increase X by 1. And then Fanfare is deal X damage to all enemy followers. So every time you spell boost him, he's going to do more AoE damage. And then, you know, if you get him, by the time he's at 6, if you drew him early, he's going to be doing 7 or 8 damage AoE probably. This Sun is so funny. It's just like, because my window, there's like a slight crack on the like and it's like, you know, it's coming in and like hitting my face, but it looks funny. Anyway, William's pretty good, and then on evolve, it's gonna spell boost your hand twice, so pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much like the rest of the deck is either like cards that draw, like Insight, or other cards that spell boost, and you're just gonna want to try to turbo out your zero-cost Blaze Destroyers, your big Williams that are gonna come down and just clear the board. And yeah, so for the cards that we want to try to upgrade here, so as you can see, there's three of the 5 golds are Earthright. So if you do get a lot of Earthright golds, you might want to try to go into Earthright. But for now, we're talking about Spell Boost. You're definitely going to want to try to get Homework Time, which is a 3-drop, draw 2 cards. But if you Spell Boost it 5 times, it's going to become a 1-drop, draw 2 cards, and deal 2 damage. Or deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. Very strong. And then the other card here is the Demonic Call, 7-drop spell. On spell boost, reduce the cost of this card by 1. And then when you play it, it's going to summon a Demonic Shikigami. Demonic Shikigami is a 3-drop 3/3 with Rush and Last Word spell boost your hand. So this is going to not only like fill the board and be another 0-cost card you can play eventually, but it's also going to help spell boost the rest of your hand, because this is basically 2 spell boosts, because it's a spell, and then the Demonic Shikigami is going to come down, and when it dies, it's going to spell boost. And then the legendary is a little hard to determine what you want to do. I'm very debating between Anne and Greya or Kuon, so I'll kind of talk about them both. I'm leaning more towards Anne and Greya, though. So Anne and Greya is 5-drop 4/4. On play, summon an Anne Summoning. Anne Summoning is a 3-drop 5/5 rush ward, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, it gets destroyed. And then on play, it's also going to spell boost your hand 3 times, which is a lot. And then on evolve, it's going to deal an enemy follower on the field 3 damage. So Anne's going to come down, spell boost your hand a bunch. Anne and Greya are going to spell boost your hand a bunch. You're going to summon the Anne Summoning, which is going to be able to rush into something and remove something. And then you're going to be able to evolve this card and deal 3 damage to something else. So you're going to kind of be able to board clear a good amount, because you can go 3 damage to something, 5 damage to something with the Anne Summoning, and then swing this in since you evolved. So I like that. It kind of adds some consistency to the deck. But then Kuon is big, just board. It fills up the board and gives you a bunch of these cards that when it dies, spell boost. And then if you pay 10 for Kuon, you're going to destroy all of these and then make a Noble Shikigami, which will probably be like a 10/10. And that card has Ward and Aura, so pretty good. And then also Kuon on Super Evolve is going to give an allied Shikigami follower on the field Storm. So I think I will say Kuon, just because it adds an end game to the deck. That Anne and Greya adds like the consistency, but Kuon kind of adds the end game. So yeah, I think cards you're going to want to take out are the Emilu is pretty weak. It's a 5-drop 2/2, and then it can get to 0 when you spell boost 5 times. It does nothing else, but on evolve you can summon a Clay Golem, and you deal like some AoE depending on how many golems you have on the field, but of course you're only going to have 1 basically. So definitely want to remove that. True Summons is like a little, it's iffy because it's a 2-drop spell, but it summons a 2/2 Clay Golem. So it's kind of like a 2-drop 2/2 that spell boosts your hand by 1. So not like terrible. And then I would say the last card you probably want to remove is Snowman Army is okay, but I think the last card you want to remove is the Starry-Eyed Penguin Wizard. 4-drop 2/2, draw 2 cards, and then spell boost your hand 2 times when you evolve. The only issue with this card is it costs way too much, and it has way too little stats. So yeah, I think those are the 3 you'd want to remove. So yeah, I think this deck is actually not that bad for being a budget deck. You have a very clear like plan where you want to get these huge spell boost guys down, the Blaze Destroyer, the Runeblade Conductor, and you actually have some really good power cards in the William to clear boards. and you're going to be drawing a lot, and yeah, it's pretty good. I like this one a lot. I think this one is like fairly easy to upgrade too. So yeah, that's Rune. Next is Dragon. Dragon is gonna be one of the weaker budget decks, just because it's so Dragon is so ramp oriented, and you only have access to one card of ramp as a budget, as a silver and bronze or below. But we are going to talk about it. So I kind of built this deck more as like a mid-range leaning aggro deck, but if you do hit the ramp, which is the dragon sign, you're going to be able to get into your late game faster. So we're going to talk about some of the power cards here. Searing Fire Newt is a really strong 2-drop, 2-2 fanfare. Select the enemy file on the field and deal it 1 damage. Pretty good. Aetha Wind Rider, I almost said Dragon Rider. Wind Rider is a 3-drop 2-1 storm, and then if you're an overflow, you gain Intimidate. Pretty cool, pretty good aggressive card. Draconic Berserker here, 4-drop 4/5. On evolve, it's going to select the enemy file on the field and deal it 4 damage. And then super evolve, it's going to deal 4 damage to everything. Really strong dragon card, board clear. Really, really like this guy. This is one of the more powerful cards in this budget deck. More removal in the Fledgling Dragon Slayer, 4-drop 2/2. On play, kill something. And then going towards the end game, we have Axe-wielding Dragon Slayer. It's literally just a 6-drop 5/10 ward. If they have hard removal, it's going to die, but if they don't, it's going to be pretty hard to get through. And then sort of your end game, how you like win the game and try to get the opponent down to 0 is the Warrior of the Deep. 8-drop 6/6 on play, deal 6 to the enemy leader. You're probably only ever going to get to this either if you're playing a really long game or if you hit a ramp early on. But yeah, Dragon I think is definitely on the weaker side. It has a lot of just filler cards. But if we add 2 golds and a legendary here, let's see what we're going to do. So there's a couple really, really strong golds. Fanfare, if you're an overflow, evolve this follower. When this follower evolves, gain 1 max play point. So, past 7, you're going to be able to... I feel another sneeze, dang. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Okay, we're good. In overflow, you're going to just be able to play this. It's going to auto-evolve, you're going to be able to swing into something, and you're going to get, like, from 7 to 9, which is pretty strong. And then, before overflow, you're going to just be able to evolve this guy, and ramp, basically. So, pretty, not guy, it's a girl, but, really good, really, really, really strong card, and definitely the #1 card you want to add, if you can, to this budget dragon deck. Next gold we want to add is the Twilight Dragon. 9-drop 9/9 on play. Give all enemy followers on the field -9 health. Super evolve, draw 3 cards. This card is nuts. This card is very, very strong. Definitely want to add this. But I will say you're probably not going to get to this unless you hit a ramp or 2. So you definitely want to prioritize the Liu Fang. But this card is very strong. And then I think the legendary you're going to want to add is the Burnite, an Anathema of Flame. She's going to give you basically a way to end the game, and she's also going to be a board clear, which is really nice. She's a 7-drop 7/7. Discard a card in your hand, deal X damage to all enemy followers. X is the cost of the selected card. And then on Super Evolve, she's going to give your opponent a crest, and the crest is going to be at the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to your leader, and then once on each of your turns when your leader's defense is restored, deal 1 damage to it. So, of course, this means your opponent's going to be taking 1 damage every turn. Really like this as, like, sort of chip damage, but this card is mostly for the big AoE. And then, 4 cards you want to remove. There's a lot of cards. Sword Snout Trencher is really bad. Battleforged Dragon Keeper is really bad. Those are definitely the highlights. I think Axe-wielding Dragon Slayer is, like, also probably pretty bad, too. But I think it's worth like experimenting with. But I would say those 3 are the ones you're going to want to prioritize cutting. All right, that was Dragon. Definitely on the weaker side of the budget decks. But now we get to Abyss, another pretty weak budget deck, to be honest. The issue with Abyss is that all of its good cards are legendaries, pretty much. But let's get into it. So, Abyss, this deck is going to definitely be leaning more aggro. So you have Lilith. She's a 1-drop 1/1. Last words, add a bat to your hand. Bats are going to be 1/1s with Drain. So pretty good 1-drop. And then another really aggressive card here is the Barrel Nightmare Incarnate. 2-drop 3/3 on play, deal 3 damage to your leader. And then on evolve, it's going to heal you by 5, but she's an overstated 2-drop by a lot. This is going to be an interesting thing because this card might just be good enough to play like everywhere, and you just take the 3 damage and you're like fine because it's a 3/3. But we will have to see. It's going to be interesting to see how this card plays out. But yeah, I think in this budget deck, it's very good. And then we have just a lot of other rough cards. But one of the combos I want to make you guys aware of is Quake Goliath. He's a vanilla. 4-drop 4/5 ward. Pretty actually not bad stats, and the fact that he has ward is pretty good. But you have this card, Ghost Juggler. 6-drop 5/5 Fanfare Reanimate 4. So if you play the Quake Goliath, and he dies, you're going to be able to play the Juggler and summon the Quake Goliath again. So pretty strong power play, actually. And then you also have kind of a worse version of the Goliath. Yuna, 4-mana 3/5 ward, and then when it dies, you add a ghost and bat to your hand. But yeah, so that's Abyss. Pretty rough. It's gonna need some work, but let's talk about the work that you can do to it. Let's see. So the cards, the two golds, probably the only good 2 golds anyway, is Orthrus, 2-drop 2/2, ward, on play, add 2 shadows, and then on evolve Necromancy 4, do 2 damage to 2 random enemy followers. Pretty good removal. Does everything you want because it's a 2-drop, and it's going to give you shadows, and then it's going to be a little small board clear. And then the other gold you're going to want to add is Mukan. Mukan is a 4-drop 3/3. Fanfare Necromancy 8, evolve this follower. Whenever an allied departed follower enters the field, give it Bane. And then whenever this follower evolves, summon a ghost. So your ghost is going to get Bane. You're going to be able to kill something. Ghosts are 1/1s with Storm, and then they get banished whenever they leave the field. So yeah, pretty good card. But that's kind of it. Those are the only 2. And then legendaries, I think you're just going to want to add the Cerberus. Cerberus adds an end game to this deck. She's an 8-drop 6/6. She's going to buff your board. She's going to summon a bunch of things. And then on Super Evolve, she's going to reanimate the thing she summoned. So pretty cool, pretty good, high value card. So yeah, and then things you're going to want to take out. I mean, what don't you want to take out of this deck, to be honest? Probably the Yuna. I think the Yuna is pretty weak. The Dark Seal Demon, 5-drop 4/4, draw 2 cards, deal 2 damage, and then on evolve he's going to deal 6. He's okay, but I would definitely prioritize taking him out. And then you definitely want to get rid of Mistress of the Fang. This card is garbage. This card is really bad. I thought this card was going to be a little bit better, but 6-drop 3/6 with Storm and Bane is not cutting it. So yeah, that's Abyss. If you want a budget deck, maybe stay away from Abyss. But we do have ways to upgrade it, like we just talked about. So yeah. Next class is Haven. Haven is interesting. I think Haven is on the better side of budget decks. So we're kind of combining a bunch of these amulets with a bunch of these high value, like, cards that get that do more things when there's other things involved. So we'll kind of talk about Sarissa. Sarissa is a 2-drop 2/2. Whenever an allied follower with ward is destroyed, give this follower +1/+1. And then on evolve, she's going to gain barrier. So she's going to be kind of an interesting early game, like, thing you want to protect. And as you protect it, it's going to get bigger and, you know, deal more damage and stuff. So we have a couple wards here with the Bellringer Angel, the Fox of Purity. We have a 1 of Holy Shield Maiden. I don't think this card's that good, but you do just want more wards. Does Angelic Prism? No, okay. But Angelic Prism Priestess is a 3-drop 2/2 that draws you an amulet. Really good. And then on evolve, it's going to make an amulet in your hand, cost reduced by 1. So some of the amulets that we have in here, the Winged Statue, 1-drop countdown 4. Summon a Holy Falcon. That's a 2/2 with Storm. And then you can engage it, tap it, and pay 1 to advance the countdown by 1. Serene Sanctuary, 1-drop countdown 3. Last words, draw 2 cards. Same thing where you can tap it and accelerate its countdown. Darkhaven Grace, I think is going to be a real powerhouse for this deck. 2-drop amulet, engage and pay 1 play point. Select an enemy follower on the field and give it +1/+1. Restore 1 defense to your leader. This card is really awesome. You're going to be able to dump a lot of your extra mana into this card, buffing your things like the Sarissa, like some of your wards, and just get a lot of value from this card. I really like this card. And then we also have some removal in the Dose of Holiness. It's going to deal 4 damage and heal you 1. And then we have the Avian Statue. That's a 4-drop countdown 2, and it's going to summon a Regal Falcon, which is a 4/4 Storm. So yeah, that's kind of the whole deck. You also have this card, the Sacred Griffin, 8-drop 6/8 ward. Whenever you engage an amulet, give this follower Storm, kind of like that. So yeah, but it's going to be this sort of like mid-range value deck, I would say, you know, and you're going to try to end games by just having just, you know, better cards, getting gradual value over time with the Darkhaven Grace buffing your things, healing you, and then eventually you're just going to have like just a big enough board that, and you got like this incremental value that you're going to win games. So how do we upgrade this? We're going to add some 2 golds in Legendary, like we talked about. The two golds I have in mind for this deck is the Pact of the Beast Princess, 2-drop, countdown 2. Last word, summon a Holy Flame Tiger. Holy Flame Tiger is a 4/4 rush. And then engage, advance this 1 mana, engage this amulet's countdown by 1. Pretty good card. You're going to get the Tiger pretty fast, too. So you could kind of think of this as a 2-drop 4/4. The other gold is Rona Vero, Darkhaven Ward. 4-drop 1/3 ambush. Ambush means it can't be targeted for effects or be attacked until it attacks. When it attacks, it's going to lose ambush. And then on evolve, select the enemy follower on the field and destroy it. So what you're going to be able to do with this guy is play him, Evo, kill something, and then you're going to be able to use that Darkhaven. Where were we here? Hold on. Yeah, Darkhaven Grace, and keep buffing him to be really big, and the opponent won't be able to interact with him, and you're going to be able to swing, and he's going to be a big guy, and he's going to be hard to deal with. So I really like that sort of combo. That's Cerberus, not Haven card. And then the legendary I want you guys to add, if you can, is John. John is just a really high value 8-drop 6/6, deal 6 damage to all enemy followers, and give all allied followers on the field +2/+4. So this is going to really synergize with the ambush guy I just showed you, with your Sarissas, and with some of your wards. And also it's going to synergize with some of your followers that are going to pop out of these amulets. So you're going to be able to time it where something comes out of the amulet on 8, and then you're going to be able to play this and buff it and everything. So very cool. Yeah, this card's really strong. This card's really strong, and one of the ones you definitely want to add. So overall, Haven, I think, is actually in a pretty good spot as a budget deck. Has a really good just high amount of value in its silvers and bronzes. So yeah, this is one I would be looking towards to build for a budget deck. But last but not least, in my opinion, the best budget deck that you can build is Portal. Portal, They added, they added the puppet stuff and they changed how artifacts work. But artifacts, I think, are going to be really strong for budget players because all of these low cost, low rarity artifact generators are just really good tempo cards, and then you're going to be able to use those gears to create really powerful cards. So let's kind of get into it. So, Elise is going to give you a blue. I'm going to call them red and blue. This is the blue gear of remembrance is the blue one. And then let me show you like a red one. Who generates a red one? Yeah, Ironheart Hunter gives you a red one. And then you're going to combine the gears into these different artifacts here. I will be doing, once I get my hands on this deck in the game, I'm going to be doing sort of a guide explaining how this artifact stuff works, because it's new to me as well, right? And I think it's going to be much more, you got to get hands on it. But overall, just, you're going to get value from these cards, so I can tell it's going to be a good budget deck. So you're going to be crafting these like artifacts in your hand with the goal to get the Masterwork Artifact Omega. And he's a 10-drop 10/10, deal 5 damage to all enemy followers and heal yourself for 5. And he's a Storm Ward Aura. I really like that you have like access to a legendary with only bronzes and silvers, basically. So yeah, it's pretty good. I think that's why it's going to be a really good budget deck. So you have Elise. She's going to on death give you a blue. Artifact Recharge is going to give you a red and a blue. Electric Whiplash is going to give you a blue. This is going to give you a red. And then we also have this really good removal card. 2-drop, deal 3, give yourself a blue in your hand, which is nice. And then we have some more like just good tempo cards. Kitty Cannoneer, 3-drop, 3/2 rush, and you gain a red. And then we have Rukina, who gives you both of them, a red and a blue, and summons a striker artifact, which is a 5/1 with rush. Really strong. And then we have the final, like, real artifact card, the Bullet from Beyond. 4-drop, kill something, put a red and a blue into your hand. I think this card is really strong, especially for budget. And then a lot of the other artifact stuff is high rarity. So we're going to want to supplement this with some of the good puppet stuff. So I added the Lovestruck Puppeteer, just a 2-drop 2/2, add a puppet, and then on evolve, it's going to put another puppet into your hand. And then the Puppet Theater Room. Why do I keep saying that? It's a puppet theater. For some reason, I keep saying theater room. 2-drop Amulet, add a puppet to your hand, countdown 2 at the end of your turn, add a puppet to your hand. So just going to give you some good early game removal. And then the Medical Grade Assassin, in my opinion, the best bronze in the game. 3-drop 2/2, add an enhanced puppet to your hand, and then once on each of your turn, when you play a puppet card, it gets Bane. So very, very strong. So how do we upgrade this deck? So where are we here? Yes. Portal. So we're going to want to focus on the artifact stuff. So we're going to want to add the Ancient Cannon here. Ancient Cannon is a 5-drop amulet that gives you a red. And then whenever you fuse, you deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. So with this card, you can kind of hoard your gears. And then when you play this, you're going to be able to start making combinations and stuff. And clear the board with it. And it's going to really help you deal with your opponent's board. Really like this card. Next card I want you guys to add, if you can, is the Alouette. You know I'm bad at pronouncing stuff. Alouette. 5-drop 2/4. Add a red and a blue. And then on evolve, you're going to summon a copy of an artifact in your hand and play it onto the field. So this is really good because the 5-drop artifacts are very valuable. This one's a 4/4 that deals 3 damage to the enemy leader. This one's a 5/3 that deals 3 damage to all enemy followers. And then this one's a 3/5 that heals you for 3. So you're going to be able to get one of these down without playing it. And you're going to be able to hold it in hand to fuse into your big guy, your big Masterwork Omega. So you definitely want to add that. And then for the legendary, one card you definitely want to prioritize is the Ralmia Sonic Boom. 8-drop 2/2, select 3 artifact followers in your hand that cost 5 or less, and summon an exact copy of each. So like I just talked about, it's like that Alute, but you summon 3 of them instead, and then on Super Evolve, Rami is going to buff all of your artifact followers on the field +1/+1. So you're definitely going to want to add those, and I think the cards you're going to want to take out are some of these puppet cards, so I'd probably take out, just the Lovestruck Puppeteer, the Puppet Theater Room, and then Noah is what I'd prioritize taking out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this is the best budget deck for sure. I think it's also like can maybe end up being a pretty strong deck as well, like when it's fully built. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helped a little bit. This went a little longer than I wanted it to, but I did kind of get deep into discussing each one, and hopefully that helped you guys make a decision on what budget deck you want to go to. But I will have links to all of this in the description, of course. Hopefully you guys can like come back to this video and go, hey, I want to try yada yada, and be able to see what what cards to prioritize and stuff like that. Next video I will be doing is my builds of day 1 for each class, and talking about sort of where I think the meta is going to go and stuff like that. So that might be a longer discussion video. And then tonight at 8 the game comes out, and I will be trying to stream. I try is the emphasis because I haven't streamed in like 2 years. No, I streamed last year. Yeah, I streamed a year ago. But we're going to try to do that and, experience the launch experience. I was also able to get some Shadowverse Evolve codes, so we're going to be able to open even more packs. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. And yeah, hope you guys are excited too. Thank you guys for all the support and stuff as well. We hit 200 subscribers last night, which was really cool. So yeah, very thankful, very happy, and very excited. So hope you guys are too. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.